even when I was working on vacation.
It was okay. It was absolutely
that's my point.
okay.
Like we made it okay because we, in our minds, we're like, well, this is how we get to take these.
This is how we're paying for the vacation.
Right. So I'm going to work while I'm on vacation because this is why we get to stay in these suites and go to these places and catch these type of flights. Right. So I think we made it okay. But it was a trip. I didn't realize it wasn't really a vacation. I wasn't vacating from my day-to-day activities to reset my mind and to fill myself back up with what I really needed to get to the next level.
Yeah. And if you would have let me finish before you cut me off, I was going to say it was so refreshing to me that I could see that. I could see I thought that everything was amazing with you, but to see you like that and really have the conversations that we had uninterrupted for literally 8 days took us to another level. And I was like, wow, we can be here? I thought it was already great at the top. But that's what I was trying to say to you. It was amazing to just have those moments. And even if I don't have them all the time and go back, now I know where my expectation is that it could happen. Yeah. My expectation was at a certain point.
Right.
But now it's higher.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience, where the things you say to yourself about yourself will eventually determine what or even who you have to attract for yourself.
That's right. Welcome, everybody. Another episode of the Self-Talk Experience. And we're excited to be back.
Hey, babe.
From vacation. What's up?
How was vacation?
The first time. As long as I can remember, maybe for never.
For never. That's a new word. Okay.
Since I have taken 8 days and have truly not done any work.
I know. And what's crazy is when you first told me you wanted to take a break, like a real break, you said, oh, I guess like about, 4 nights, 5 days. Right. So I booked everything. Everything was done. Flights, hotel, everything was done. And after I told you about it, you were like, I think I want to be gone longer. I was like, oh, okay. So I changed it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah,
I don't think 5 days would have been enough.
No, and I felt it. Like, I think for the first time in my life, I felt like I needed a vacation. I needed a reprieve to reset, to rejuvenate. And I didn't realize that, and I knew this because I teach it, but I was experiencing it myself. And it's hard to pour into others when you're not full.
Right.
And it feels selfish to say, I'm going to take a vacation away from the people I mentor and coach, but it's really selfless if I'm pouring out of a vessel that's half empty.
Right. And to be honest, everyone around you felt like you really needed a vacation as well.
Really? It's just
so we're all very happy that
you're laughing too, but is this intervention? Like
we were close to an intervention, but I said, hey guys, cancel the intervention because he told me he wants to go on vacation. So it worked out. It worked out perfectly.
Well, I'm glad. I know I felt like I was getting a little impatient and short and curt.
Yes. Yes. I don't want to disagree with you. You were,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tracy and Janelle. And if the audience felt like that, I apologize. The vacation was wonderful. 8 days. We went to Tulum. And so we the resort where we stayed was far away from the kind of the city of Tulum, where a lot of folks go to the parties and restaurants. Right. So that was far away, but it was great because we got to experience the resort, which was phenomenal. And then we got to experience kind of downtown in the jungle, which was phenomenal, in the restaurant. So we'll be posting. I've got reels for days for that. But I think, really the reason why we brought that up for this particular episode is because sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Right. And sometimes you don't even realize that you didn't know until you experience what it is that has made you more aware.
What do you mean by that?
So like, and this is in anything. It's in relationship, it's in finances. Sometimes either judge other people and say, I would never do that. But you never walked in their shoes. You've never been in that position. Then you start to realize, wow, perhaps I would have done that same thing. Mm-hmm. Or you're in a relationship and you're like, this is what it's supposed to be like. Like you didn't know because you never had it.
Right.
And then when you have it, you're like, oh, okay. So you shift your expectations now, your standards, your boundaries, everything changes. Like this is how it's supposed to be.
You raised them because you realized what you were getting wasn't what you really, really wanted and needed.
But you didn't even know sometimes.
You didn't know what to expect.
That's exactly right.
Right.
What you were getting is what you became accustomed to and what you then set as your standard.
Right.
Like, this is what it is. And people even start generalizing off of it. And they say things like, oh, that's just what it is. Like all men are like that, or all businesses are like that, or all whatever it is.
And sometimes, you know, that when that happens, you say something will happen and you say, see?
Yep.
See?
Yep. Because whatever occupies your mind most, your mind finds evidence to confirm.
Right.
So if you firmly believe something and you say it often enough, anything that shows up will confirm what it is you believe.
But I find
even if it's negative.
Yes, but I find sometimes too, even when something good happens, it's not that good because it doesn't usually happen anyway. Right? Instead of
that's how you think.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Sometimes I feel myself doing that. If something bad happens or I have a reaction to something 3 times that's negative, and then the 4th time it's actually something better, I say, well, it's usually this way anyway, so that's not going to happen. Instead of focusing in and trying to figure out how to make it like that all the time.
Yeah. I don't think that's who you are today, though.
No, I
think that's who you were.
No, but I know.
Yeah.
That's how some of us feel.
Yeah.
And some I'm taking that on too.
Yeah.
That we think like that sometimes. Yeah. And it's hard to get out of that rhythm.
Yep. I think that's why it's good to have good people around you who remind you of the things that you could do better. Mm-hmm. Because if you're around people who are yes men or yes women, they're like, oh, yeah. But they never call you out and they allow you to be just good when they know you have greatness in you.
But you were talking about that the other day. What did you say? You said something about...
I don't know. I say so much good stuff.
You do.
I talk good to myself.
Yes. You said something about being around people who not only love on you for who you are, but they see the potential in who you can become.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I forgot what we were talking about, but I was saying that it's good to be around people who don't just see you for your current you version of you. Most people see you for your past you, and they continue to remind you of that person. Like, hey, don't forget you made this mistake. Mm-hmm. They might not say it like that, but they bring stuff up. And it was yesterday, it was last year, but it's not the current version of you. But the people you really want in your circle are not the people who see your past, and not even the people who see you currently, but they see the future version of you and they celebrate them in advance.
Yes, that's what you said.
Yeah, that's not easy to find. Because, and you'll notice, this is what it sounds like. This is how you know you got this person in your corner. They'll say things like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine 5 years from now, based on your growth and that I see today, 5 years from now, you're going to blow them out the water.
Right.
Like you will be a walking miracle for most folks, a breakthrough in the flesh.
Right.
Like, and though you want people to speak to you as the person that you're becoming. And you will start to attract that person based on the words that you're now saying to yourself because of the words you're hearing often from other people who are close to you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, so a lot came out on vacation.
Yes.
There was a lot of discussions because we ended up having a lot of talks because for the first time, I didn't return any texts, no business texts, no business emails. I didn't even check my email, so whether they were personal or business, they stayed in the inbox. No Zooms.
No conference calls.
None of that.
Nothing.
Like literally, I slept for 8 hours, minimally a day.
And you didn't set a clock.
I know. It's very different.
Yeah.
And so I brought that up because we said that sometimes you don't really know. It's rooted in ignorance.
You have an expectation.
I had made a habit out of my grind. And I made a habit out of not recharging and didn't realize it.
Right. But what was interesting for me that I realized on the trip was I had a certain expectation of your time and a certain expectation of your attention because I respect your grind so much and the lifestyle that we've been able to create because of your grind. But I didn't realize how much of your attention I wasn't getting. Because I was getting all of it. And I had
you were getting all of it in Tulum.
Yes.
So then you made you aware
of the attention that I wasn't getting when you were here all these years. Mm-hmm. So it was really interesting to me that I've never had your undivided attention. Mm. And quite frankly, have you had mine? Because where you're doing the work stuff, I'm doing the home stuff. Mm. So you could feel the same way. Yeah. Now that we're empty nesters, you could feel like, wow, now that the kids, she's not going to practice and she's not cooking for them. Like all of the activities and things I did, I'm not doing anymore. So you could feel the same way. Yeah,
I don't know if I would agree with that. I would say, and just tell me if you agree with this, if I'm going to push back on you a little bit. I don't know if you've never had my undivided attention, period, because never is an absolute. I don't really go for absolutes. But perhaps on vacation, because it wasn't really, now that I realize what vacation really is, we have taken trips before and not vacations. So on doing trips, you've never really had my undivided attention most of the time because I'm like, hey, babe, I got to run and do a call back in the room. Hey, I've got to do a Zoom. And we've had date nights where I've not looked at my phone, or we have been in the movies, and so you've had that attention. But on vacations, I don't really know if I vacated. Vacation seems like you vacate your norm. And I hadn't vacated before.
Well, that's what I was talking about, babe. I was talking about that amount of time. Okay. To be away with you that amount of time is what I was talking about. Okay. I wasn't trying to say you never pay attention.
You said your words were, I've never had your undivided. Did y'all hear that? Y'all want to rewind? Y'all go back and watch this on YouTube.
I wasn't.
I know, but the audience, you said to the audience.
You said the topic is about stuff we learned on vacation.
I know.
And I was talking about vacation.
Why are you laughing back
there? So now, wait, why are you taking it that way? That wasn't the topic.
I'm just saying. You said I've never had your undivided attention.
Please forgive me because I understand how you feel about the word never.
Yes, thank you. This is good. See?
So 99% of the time, I felt like I hadn't had your undivided attention.
On vacation or on trips. Hold on. Let's clarify this. On trips are just like in our normal life.
No, on trips.
Right. So I need you to make that plain.
That's the topic. When they click on the episode, it's going to say something about vacation.
It doesn't matter. If you don't make it clear in a complete sentence and say, hey, I've never really had your undivided attention on vacation. If you say I've never had it, because, that's how I would take it. If I'm watching, I'm like, oh, man, my man ain't never paying attention to his wife. That's what I would say. Like, hey, I might got a shot on for her because he ain't paying no attention when he turn away,
Wow, this has really taken a turn. I'm so confused. But can we get back to what we were supposed to be talking about?
Yes, please.
And I would like to say, for the record, you are very attentive.
Thank you.
And you are amazing.
Thank you. Don't just say that for the camera. You know what I mean?
No,
when we say cut.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Whoa. Yesterday in the kitchen around 3:00, did I not tell you? Did I not tell you you were amazing?
I don't recall, but I'm sure.
Wow,
you did.
Because I did. And if you don't recall, then are you really paying attention to me? But I'm supposed to be getting the attention?
Maybe, nonverbals are just as important as verbal. So when you said it, where were you? Like, were you like cooking at the same time?
Actually sitting face forward on your lap in your face in the kitchen on the stool. I said a lot of things. And then I made you your gluten-free, meatless,
and it was so good.
Dairy-free dinner.
And it was so good.
Are we going to show this or should we just like cut it and then
No, we're showing this. Vacation? We don't cut. We are showing this. This is exactly what our avatar needs to see. The avatar needs to know that these absolutes, man, get to you. That never, that always. So on vacation, you said that you never had my full attention.
I was just very excited, in all honesty, to see you really, really relaxed.
Yeah.
Your mood was different. Our conversations, they're always amazing, but they were even more amazing on our vacation. And I think, you know how we always say, when you go away with your kids, it's a trip. Mm-hmm. When you go away with just your spouse or your friends, it's a vacation. But even on our vacations, what we called our vacations, you still said, But even on our anniversary trips, babe, I'm so sorry. I have to take this call. I'll be right back. So what I was saying was this was the first time I've experienced you not doing that at all.
Yeah.
At all. And being okay with it.
Yeah. And I think we made it okay even when I was working on vacation.
It was okay. It was absolutely
that's my point.
okay.
Like we made it okay because we, in our minds, we're like, well, this is how we get to take these.
This is how we're paying for the vacation.
Right. So I'm going to work while I'm on vacation because this is why we get to stay in these suites and go to these places and catch these type of flights. Right. So I think we made it okay, but it was a trip. I didn't realize it wasn't really a vacation. I wasn't vacating from my day-to-day activities to reset my mind and to fill myself back up with what I really needed to get to the next level.
Yeah. And if you would have let me finish before you cut me off, I was going to say it was so refreshing to me that I could see that. I could see I thought that everything was amazing with you, but to see you like that and really have the conversations that we had uninterrupted for literally 8 days took us to another level. And I was like, wow, we can be here? I thought it was already great at the top. But that's what I was trying to say to you. It was amazing to just have those moments. And even if I don't have them all the time and go back, now I know where my expectation is that it could happen. Yeah. My expectation was at a certain point.
Right.
But now it's higher.
Yeah.
Because I know it's possible.
Yeah. And I think in that, thank you for saying that. And I think in that environment, when you are truly relaxed and you've let go, let's just call it the real world, like the things you typically are doing day to day that distract you from perhaps visualizing what your next level looks like and who you're going to be in that next level and really internalize that and define what that looks like. And so those conversations, because listen, if whether it's one of your best friends, whether it's your significant other, there should be a time where you can have some real conversations. And sometimes it's tough when you still have in the back of your mind, oh yeah, I got to take care of that. I got to pay that bill. Right. And so in the day I got to pick the kids up in a second. So that sometimes is still in your mind while you're still trying to focus on having a conversation about planning your future.
But you're not.
You're not 100% focused, right? And if your future is that important, if the next 5 years is that important, if that next level that you're achieving together is that important, you and your friend, you and your business partner, sometimes going away to plan that, going away to write, going away to, meditate and
just reconnect.
And yep, exactly. I think it's critical. And now I see the importance of it. And I didn't know what I didn't know. Right. And I've read books on it and I've gone to seminars where they've talked about it. And I'm like, I got addicted to the grind. You know what I mean? And addiction can be in a lot of different forms. And I think for me, it was just a grind. This is what I do. So it helped me to see that it does not take away from my next level to take a second from the grind. It's like, because sometimes we say, what are you doing? I'm doing nothing. What you doing? Nothing. And I felt like that was like a negative.
I know. Nobody wants to say I'm doing nothing. When you call somebody and say, what you doing? If they say nothing, it's kind of like judgy. You're like, nothing. You're not doing anything at all.
Especially if they're not where they want to be. You're like, you need to be doing something.
Exactly.
Right. It's so easy to judge, right? And it helped me have an appreciation for nothingness. And I don't mean nothing.
Confident in saying, I'm not doing anything.
Right. Like it's
I
okay.
never thought about it like that.
Right. Because sometimes you're in between stuff. Like you took a second, like I just had one Zoom or call, and now I'm taking a second to see, what could have happened better. So in that moment, it's maybe doing really nothing, maybe thinking, but not really anything.
Or how about you're not thinking? How about you're really taking a recharge?
Right. Just a second.
And it could be a whole recharge day.
Right.
And someone says, so what'd you do today?
Right.
No one wants to say nothing. You're used to saying, oh, I did this and then I went here, then I did this. I had to pick up this. I had this scheduled. Had to cancel that because I had to move this over because but I was jammed. That's what people.
Is that how you sound when you say
people,
it?
Man. But you never want to say, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
The whole day?
Yeah.
All night? No, but I've learned from you and even on this trip in our conversations to be confident and say, what? Not a girl, not a thing.
Right.
And be confident in saying that.
Yep.
And if they say nothing, nope. Not at all.
Yep. This day was for me.
Yes.
This day
absolutely.
was for me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's that all about our self-care and self-love. And yes, we're not saying take every day when you've got goals and because there are windows, right? And there'll still be windows for me where I'm on a 90-day run. Or this month we've got a big goal, or this month you're launching a new project or a new business, or right. And I don't want you to think, well, I'm going to recharge from the first week of the launch. That's probably not the best time to recharge when you're launching.
Sure.
Right. So please take this the right way. But we just wanted to share some revelation from our vacation, because again, I didn't know what I didn't know, and some things were revealed to me, and I see clearly now, which I thought was clear before, but I see clearly now my next level. I see myself 5 years from now, and I see what that looks like. I've defined it. I now can visualize it because I've defined it. And before, what I thought was clear was cloudy. And it wasn't until I took the vacation for me. And that means that everybody who's attached to me is winning too. This is why when I got back, at Janelle, and so many folks are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you did that. You needed it. I didn't want to bother you. I'm glad, right? And that was important because the people around you should know that if you're winning, they're winning. Because your associations should all be winning together. Yes. That's the power of attachment.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm very thankful for the 8 days. And
I'm glad you agreed to.
Thank you for pushing me to do it, because I was a little hesitant at first, and then the intervention was scheduled, but luckily we didn't have to do that. So recharge. I said it before, but now I'm speaking from experience. Don't be afraid to reset and recharge and go at it all again. We hope that this episode has helped you out, and we're not cutting a thing out of it. Because we hope and pray that we add value by just being us. All right, guys, remember, this is a self-talk experience. So the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what and even who we attract for ourselves.
And don't ever say always and never when you talk to my husband.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.